and gentlemen, I present to you Life's Milkshake Moment with health coach Joe D.
Hey there, I'm Dr. Jody Barron. Thank you for coming back to yet another episode of Life's Milkshake Moment. I am Dr. Jody. I am a health professional, holistic health coach, and pioneer for 42 years. I'm here to tell you that we focus each and every day in my practice. We focus each and every day on this TV show on the foundations of health, the foundations of living, and the foundations of hope. When you have everything in those three, you do have everything. And what I know is that we do it in all 6 pillars of human existence, starting with spiritual, physical, mental, emotional, social, and financial. And today, our guest for Life's Milkshake Moment, and you're watching this, if you're seeing it on YouTube right now live, you're seeing it on Facebook because of his busy schedule. You're going to see this twice today. We are so blessed to have this happen and for this to be a guest with absolutely extraordinary passion, extraordinary purpose, and extraordinary mindset. And that's what Life's Milkshake Moments is all about. My quote, life is like a milkshake. Choose your ingredients wisely. And when you do, life will be oh so sweet. Dr. Jody, I'm privileged and honored to say that I have a client base of over 1 million pounds of toxic fat lost with only a 5% recidivism rate. And in this COVID era, as I came back out of retirement, having over 2,000 clients that have been able to reclaim and regain their health for their life. Now, this happens because the body is a miracle making machine. The body put in any condition can and will heal itself. That health that you're looking for, that those next pounds that you're looking for to get off, guess what? The good news, it can be your pounds and your health. Now, a little bit about me. I'm just a brown-eyed, brown hair with a little ponytail girl from small town Montana. You know, Montana's big geographically, small towns. That's what we're all about. But what I found out when I was about 5 years old, I found my gift. I found out I could sing, I could sing, I could sing. And sing I did. I lifted my mother, who was absolutely devastated as a young widow at 36 and just suffered from depression her whole life. I saw that I could lift her mental state of depression just momentarily with my gift of singing. She went ahead and found in me voice lessons, absolutely those lessons with money that she could ill afford. And one of those times, as I was then and was in my 20s, a classically trained professional musician on my way to Handel's Messiah, a solo performance, broadsided, I was hit by a Lincoln Continental. My next waking moment, face down in a surgical halo. That's when my mother gave me that hope, just like I'd given her with my singing. She said, Jody, the doctors only know what they see. They don't know who you are. I want to give this message especially to someone who is out there listening today. They don't know who you are. Now, do they? And when you know who you are and you know whose you belong to, you can move mountains. And I did, because only temporarily paralyzed, I walked out of that hospital. I got up out of that bed, and I did not use a wheelchair to get into my mother's car. And I've been running ever since, because the body put in the right condition can heal itself. Then I got another tap on the shoulder about holistic means. And then a couple of years later, I was an expectant mother. I was at a La Leche League meeting, which stands in Spanish for the milk. If anybody of you know me out there, I just say what's on my mind. And I said, what in the world are we putting in our bodies? I saw this list of refreshments. The only two ingredients that were food groups there were additives and preservatives, chips, salsa, brownies, you name it. Little did I know that the president of the corporation and the non-for-profit with La Leche League was at the meeting. And she said, well, why don't you do something about it? And it's just like Christopher Rausch, my guest last week, said, be the change that somebody else is. He used the word bitching about, or you could say is complaining about. Well, I was the change. I created a nutritional program for these young mothers. I thought, this is pretty cool. Then I was able to give hope to my mother a year later. You ever get that phone call? Ring, ring, ring. I'm up cleaning the dishes. The phone, one's on one of those landlines. Millennials, I know you don't know what those are, but they actually had a cord on, like an Ethernet cord. And what I found when I picked up the phone was not a smile on my face. It was devastating. She said, Jody, I have bad news. I said, what is it, Mom? And she said, they say I have cancer. It's in my liver. It's in my pancreas. They've given me 6 weeks to live. Well, I dropped down to my knees. My mother? I'd lost my father when I was 3. Now my mother at 25. And I rolled off that toilet paper until there was no more roll. At that point, I knew I had to find a plan. I needed to give my mother hope. And I got on my plane the next day with a 6-week-old baby and one that was a little over a year. Flew back to my hometown in Montana. What did I find there? I found the essence of my calling. And I believe listening, and why am I going through this part of my story together with you today? Because I believe if you listen real closely to my guest here today, you are going to find the essence of your calling too. Oftentimes, it's a tap on the shoulder. It's a 2x4. With my mother's illness, it was a absolute full-blown Mack truck. What I found with my mother was in the little Laurel, Montana library. Edgar Casey's protocols, they were centuries old, back into the 1890s. I gave her these protocols. Boy, did we celebrate when it came week 7, because she was still with me and she had quality and length of life well beyond her 6 weeks to live diagnosis. So when she transitioned out of this world into the next, when she was laying in her bed, she gave me my calling. She said, Jody, give others the hope that you've given me. So that's why I play that song at the beginning of our broadcast. I'm singing with Alicia Williamson. I've been singing background vocals. There is hope. There is hope in your mindset. There is hope in your calling. There is hope. As Serena Brown Travis, Les Brown's daughter, says, you will find that answer. Whatever people are leaning into you upon is your calling. And when you find your calling, because it is your calling, you will be equipped. My personal quote is, when you take care of you and your world first, that's what we're doing here today, your world around you is empowered forever. And Helen Keller put it yet an additional way, doing it with 100% passion and focused emotion. My guest here today is absolutely one of the most focused and dedicated and absolutely driven soul, because he focuses his passion. He knows if he takes care of himself, he can empower his whole world of executive coaching. But guess what? So can you. And I can say, just like our mission here that we have, like my mother said to me, give others hope, like the hope, Jody, that you've given me. We do it to heal, to go down into yourself, because no one knows you like you do. Now, do they? And then to go up in opportunity to your true north and draw in positivity and empowerment, and then to go out on your world after you have been with yours. It is truly, truly, it's possible. As Les Brown says, it is possible. It's possible for you to have the keys for your whole new future. It will give you access to an unlimited power that you have within yourself. All you need to do is believe it's possible, because I'm possible and you are possible too. So take my hand. Let's go and begin with this life journey. Let's begin, because health, as we're talking about in today's broadcast, in that mental pillar of human existence, that mental health is not something you do, but it is what you become along life's journey. Ready to go with us? I hope you are. And we'll be doing this right after our commercial break. Our first commercial break is with our sponsor, businessfromhome.net and humongous ads.classified. With small businesses, you need to have an economical, an easy way to not only perhaps make a little extra additional income, but to focus on your business, to run ads that are doable and sustainable and economical. This is brought to you by my host of my syndicated radio show on Sunday night, Peter Mingles of Building Fortunes Radio. So listen to what he has with Building Fortunes Radio, which is my show. Peter has his number on here as well, but building not only business for you at home or ads for you with your small based business. Check it out.
Inflation is going through the roof. Food prices, gas prices, housing prices, insurance, everything. The average family is feeling the pinch. So what can you do? Ask your boss for a 20% cost of living wage increase? That won't end well. Fall for a get-rich-quick scheme? There are people who you can rely on to show you how to make money in a home-based business. Give us a chance to walk you through how it works. It's not really that complicated. You just have to find the right opportunity and the right people. Visit www.humongous.com/TV and submit your information. Maybe we can help. Millions of families are wondering how to work from home and earn extra income.
Yes, Peter Mingles is one of a kind. So reach out to him and he will help you with your home-based business. And just like any other business, we have our Traverse TV. We have our platform. Just know, like PBS, as I have this banner going across just now, there are expenses. There are expenses to do a broadcast. There are expenses to bring patrons on like you. So if you're looking to just have a tax-deductible donation, know that half of my money goes to my charity, La Casa Ropa de Sobre down in Colombia. And the rest goes to bring you this content, this live stream, and these beautiful, wonderful guests that you're just about to hear from right here, right now. So go and reach out on my Venmo, $Bear Money, Cash App as well, $Bear Money, or PayPal, paypal.me/health coach Jody. Appreciate it. And boy, I appreciate my next guest. He is just an amazing individual. I will say that he epitomizes this Les Brown quote. Les Brown says, live from the hunger of your heart. When you fill your heart with what you hunger for, your mind will find a way to achieve your desires. He is a mindset coach. He is a mastery coach that I've just gotten to know and just really respect each and every time I come into his clubhouse room. Ever meet somebody that along the way you just say, wow, I need to get to know this guy. First time I came into his room that we'll put it up in just a little bit about his thoughts and expectations room. And he'll be talking about that later. I said, I just get to know him. I just need to know him. When Lena Noland and it was her masterful way of deciding to do women's equality last Thursday, we did a 12-hour clubhouse room. Lena's idea, I was just blessed to moderate with her most of the time, along with her husband, Mr. Jay Noland, who has been my coach for many, many years. Gosh, going on 7. And Dwight Lee came in and just poured into we women because he is absolutely a servant leader. We use that a lot, but he does it from his heart. He does it from his soul. He does it because he wants you to get this self-mastery and this mindset. He is an author. He's a trainer who is deeply passionate. That's why I had to have that passionate quote there about making positive impact through serving others, through opening their eyes that everything starts and it stops where? With you. That secret to you loving yourself unconditionally, being patient with yourself, of course, but being kind and gentle along the way. That's your own mastery key to finding your personal success. Dwight believes that. He lives that and he is that. And it was with great pleasure that I say, welcome to Life's Milkshake Moment, Dwight Lee. Welcome.
Oh, thank you for having me. I mean, this is amazing. I loved your opening. It's an amazing, wonderful, faith-based story, your story, leading you on the path to your glory. Absolutely stunning, amazing, stupendous. Thank you, thank you, thank you for having me.
And thank you for being here. So I'm just going to start right here. This is where you can find this guy because you're going to want to find this guy. This is his email address. This is his handle on all social media. I've got to think sooner than later. It's just a different way to spell sooner. Sooner Haven, because you will find your haven with Dwight Lee for sure. So Dwight, enough about me and what I'm talking about. I want people to get to know you. Tell us a little bit about you personally. That story about that basketball guy is so good. Or anything else you wish to do.
Yeah, I'm just a little small kid that come from very humble beginnings. I would say that the 4 women that impacted me the most or have a lot to do with who I've become, it starts with my grandma, and she transitioned in March of 2012. But she taught me a lot of hard lessons. And then my mom, she worked her primary job for about 39 3/4 years. And then my 3rd grade teacher, Miss Littlejohn, she taught me a powerful lesson because the only thing I wanted to do was play basketball. She said, she called it a pipe dream. She stopped me because I used to win all the free throw contests from 1st grade. And this was in 3rd grade. And she told me, she bent down and told me, she says, okay, Dwight, it's good to have that, but this is what I want you to focus on. Focus on learning. Because when you learn something, it's yours to keep and no one can take it away from you. That's a powerful lesson my 3rd grade teacher gave me, Miss Littlejohn. And then, of course, my high school principal, Miss Joyce A. Henderson. I mean, my high school was pretty rough, and this was a very powerful lady. I think she was supernatural, but she was just amazing. And she just would stop me from time to time. And I mean, this is when I was in 9th grade, 10th grade, just different intervals. And she would just give me a quiet whisper. And she would just say, like, Dwight, there's greatness in you. And she would say, always be doing or attempting to do the right thing, even when you think no one's looking. So these are just excerpts of lessons that people, I guess, that saw something in me that gave me. And my grandma used to always say that I was going to make something out of myself. That was like one of her key phrases that she used to say also. So, yeah, from very humble beginnings, like I said, the only thing I wanted to do was play basketball. I could write. I was a very quiet and shy kid. I was teased a lot. So I kind of really resonated with basketball, and that's kind of the lens that I see through. That's what I love the most. That's the highest concept that I believe I've achieved to date. But I've taken, the philosophies that I did in basketball unconsciously, and now I'm starting to unfold those things consciously and learn what I was actually doing unconsciously in basketball. But yeah, I just love basketball. I love teaching it, coaching it, watching it. Huge Michael Jordan fan. I follow Michael Jordan since October of 1982. So that's a little spiel about me. Don't want to go on too long.
And frankly, you learned, and it worked because guess what, Dwight? Every time it's just people that know me, when it resonates with me, my nose starts to itch. It's just the way it works.
Oh,
And so good job, good job, good job. You learned to do that right thing, and you do it so well. Since our channel here on Traverse TV is the Healthopedia channel, you are a truly focused man, and you're professional, and this mental pillar of existence. I mean, when you talked about this conscious competent, and you are so unconscious competent about so many things that you pour into. How did you just feel like this mental pillar needs to be my skill set?
well, yeah, I was always fascinated with the brain. I started reading at age 4, Encyclopedia Britannicas. My grandma had a set, and no one taught me how to read. It's just like I just did it. I can't explain it, but this is literally what happened. And so I was always just fascinated with the brain. And then, I had 6 uncles. I watched a lot of sports, but basketball was the thing that I was drawn. Actually, it was boxing first, Sugar Ray Leonard, and then basketball. I like football too, but just something was about basketball that resonated with me. And that was the only thing I wanted to do. And so what I think happened, even though I was doing it unconsciously, it's just like my brain was just being in high resonance to basketball. So what I saw, with my eyes through cells of recognition connected to my brain, I was programming. I didn't know I was programming, but I was programming. I just really, really just love basketball. It just resonated with me deeply. And, my 2 favorite players of all time is Wyman Tisdale and Michael Jordan. And so then from there, 1982 was just a big time year for me. Second grade, it's like I sort of discovered that I could write too. And so the writing was the expressing. And so we used to have creative writing. And, every Friday after Friday, I would win the contest. And I just remember the teacher conference, Miss Slater saying to my mom that the way he writes is like, it's incredible. And it's like, he makes it so vivid in his imagery. And like, I don't really get how he's able to write like that. So that was something that I kept, I guess, in the archives to remember. So between the reading and then the writing, I just think something developed, and then just my fascination with, the brain and learning about it, which I didn't really learn about it until later on, but it got the creative juices to flowing early where I was interested. I had great interest and wanted to know about it.
That was your calling. And we'll get into here you were writing, getting writing contests after this next question on our commercial break. We're going to get into your book because my goodness gracious, that, and I'll leave that comment for that. But see, that's that thing that I called about, is that when you're called, you will be equipped, and you've got this amazing mission that you say you want to personally impact 10 people to bring self-transformation to 1,000 lives. Now that's duplication. That's getting you and yourself in your world first, and then going out and empowering the rest of the world forever. Boy, when I read that, I thought that experience for them to turn it a 360 spiritually, mentally, and professionally, that is a milkshake moment that you're creating in your executive coaching. And I've got, by the way, I've got this up there. This is the clubhouse room that Dwight, and we're going to talk about this after the commercial break, his room, Thoughts and Expectations Club. It is phenomenal. But this spiritual, mental, and professional 360 degree turn with people, boy, that is a milkshake moment. Not, You had it in your life. Now you're creating it with others. Please share your why around this. It's beautiful.
Yeah, the thing about me is that I'm an all or none person. So like, if I rock with you, I rock with you. If I don't rock with you, I don't rock with you. So I only have one gear, and that's just all or none. So when I pour out like the ocean, because I just want people to understand that you're creating your reality, right? How are you doing this? With your inner conversation, your internal dialogue, your conscious outer suggestion, and your self talk. In other words, your story. What story are you telling yourself about each key category of your life? That makes all the difference in the world. So when I begin to put this basic information out there and let you know that it is understandable, it is attainable, now you just got to make the decision to do your inner work, because it's 99% inner work and 1% external work. You
Yes.
can go in there and begin to do tests, begin to experiment, begin to be the observer and just observe without judgment, because what you judge, you can't transcend, you can't transmute, and you can't transform. So you have
Okay,
to be
back up,
kind.
back up. You're on a roll. That was a gem. You just dropped the thing there. Go back into that. What you have inside of you. Say that again, please.
Yes. Basically, everything is coming from the story you're telling yourself, what you
Yes.
choose to believe, your mindset, meaning your thought processes, thinking patterns, and thought impulses.
Beautiful.
Okay. And then your emotions, then how you're perceiving, what you're expecting, your outer speech, and then action or inaction. That is literally how you're creating your reality. Um, doesn't matter which way you slice it, whether you agree with it, whether you comprehend it, whether you understand it, whether you're in alignment with it, it makes no difference. That's the way it works. So I say become the observer, right?
Sure.
Document, document without judgment, because whatever you judge, you can't transcend, you can't transmute, and you can't transform. So if you become aware of it, if you don't like it, you can change it. Or even if you like it and you desire to enhance it, you can also do that. So the thing is, you're creating it all so you can uncreate it and you can recreate it.
Create it, uncreate it, recreate it. I'm telling you that part, ladies and gentlemen. Re listen to it, rewind, go ahead. We're on Facebook, we are on Twitter, we are on YouTube. You can download this, and we are on LinkedIn now as well. You can download this interview. Boy, if that wasn't enough, thoughts, emotions, actions. Dwight, that is just some beautiful talk about dropping bombs as one of our favorite coaches you and I know so well talk about it. He always says, drop a bomb. Isn't that a Jay Nolan moment? That was
Yeah.
thoughts, emotions, action, because transformation is an inside job. And ladies and gentlemen, I know you're going to want to hear more. And Dwight, will you hang around after this commercial break? Let's keep going. All right. This
Yes,
is
ma'am.
from Ignite Publishing, our sponsor of Life's Milkshake Moment. Take a look. I just love that happy music with Ignite. And I've got a special announcement today that you're going to want to absolutely participate in. Ignite, self mastery, love, doing it for humanity. If you just tuned in, this is our guest today on Life's Milkshake Moment at Sonner Haven. This is Dwight Lee. Dwight, I've given you your middle name. It's Dwight O. Lee because you are an ocean. And thank you for everything you've shared. And we've got some more, so let's keep going. Your zone of brilliance. Please share about your zone of brilliance. This is truly brilliant.
Yeah, I'm fascinated with the brain. That's basically what it boils down to. And I didn't do any of this, on purpose or habitually. It's just, from the age of 4, I was fascinated with the brain. I'm just intrigued by it. I mean, it's just, I'm amazed by it. And basically, the way that I can go into it is I've recently come up with this thing called mindset offset and mindset onset. And everybody's liked it. And so I'm going to keep going with it. I guess I could say 2 months was the first time that I ever mentioned it, about 2 months ago. And so I'm just going to give an example. So mindset offset is when you allow the ego, edging God out, to be in control, and you don't take your right authority and put the ego in its place. And so what happens is the ego, tells you to do this and you're going to get this result, do this and you're going to get that result, do this and you're going to get this result. So you do all three things and then you don't get anything. And so now you're irritated and you're frustrated, right? So the important thing to understand is that when you complain, when you whine, when you mope, and when you be down in the mouth, you're also creating your reality. So what you have to do is you have to hit the mindset reset button and hop over to mindset onset, like Dr. Joe has done with this amazing show. So what happens? Dr. Joe's thoughts are in alignment. Dr. Joe's thoughts are in agreement. Dr. Joe's thoughts are congruent. Dr. Joe's thoughts are in harmony with her vision, mission, and purpose. Okay.
Beautiful.
Now what happens? Dr. Joe sets her internal compass, her heart, and say, I'm going all in through hell or high water. I am doing this and I'm going to bless many lives on the way. So what happens? She embraces her client journey. She's in for the long haul. She's focused. She's concentrating. She's directing her thoughts, her energy, and attention. So she embraces her ride, right? Yes, she's going to get her payoff. She's going to get her breakthrough. She's going to get her transformation. She's going to get her specific desired end result. But in the process to the end result, she becomes so much more. Now that's
Mhm.
mindset onset.
That is absolutely phenomenal. You can tell there was a lot of depth, going that all out. I see how that happened with that basketball guy. You kept bouncing that ball, and that's where that all came. It was like it just is going to come together. That is just beautiful. You need to trademark that, Dwight. Oli. I'm telling you, O standing for ocean. It's out there now. You got your nickname. I'm going to tell Lee Forrester. I'm telling Michelle, all those clubhouse people. And like I said, you can check on and get these tidbits, these absolute gems, these bombs, as Jay Nolan would say, to drop down. You can go ahead and reach out to Dwight at Sonnerhaven at yahoo.com. He is let's just jump to this for a minute. When are you on Clubhouse?
Usually Tuesday nights and Thursday nights, 9 p.m. Central.
Okay, so it's 10 p.m. Eastern, and it's worth staying up a little later, even with me being in Eastern time. I'm just going to say he is that good. And this school of transformation that you have started within your mastery mindset executive coaching. Please go into that a little more. Would you please, Dwight?
Yeah, basically, it's teaching the same exact principles, just getting you to work with your thoughts, your beliefs, and your expectations, and just giving you little pointers or nuggets and tidbits of truth to just get you to look at things from a different perspective, different vantage point, and different point of view. There's fixed mindset and there's growth mindset. So fixed mindset is, I'm just using this as an example. I'm not saying that, this is a truth, but it is something that my grandma used to always say about me, that I was hard headed. So if Dr. Joe has a more effective and efficient way for Dwight to do something, let's just say marketing, or let's just say she wants to help Dwight improve and increase his sales and his retention. Well, fixed mindset is Dwight being stubborn and not being open to receive the insight that Dr. Joe is providing, because Dr. Joe is amazing. She's doing a lot of amazing things. She succeeds at everything she's doing. She knows how to flat out get it done. So yes, I'm an expert in my lane, but if I'm not open to new insight or successful insight, then I'm going to stay the same. And at some point, I'm going to fall back. But if I take on a growth mindset and I say, hey, I need to look at Dr. Joe. She has a television show. She has a radio show. She has an outstanding, amazing, and stupendous brand. People love her. People know, like, and trust her. If
Mm.
I'm open, the universe can unfold and reveal things to me that will take me to my next level or even my next dimension, depending on my attitude and my gratitude.
Ooh, isn't that true? Growth mindset, fixed mindset. And frankly, that's the difference I've seen, Dwight, with what we've dealt with in COVID, that people stayed in that box or they've made opportunities from COVID. And you've done that. You've done that and pouring into people. I just want to come back and just say one more time before we go into, your 13 core principles. And I know there's so much more, but reach out to Dwight. You can find him on his Thoughts and Expectations Club, as he said, Tuesdays and Thursdays at 9 p.m. Central Time, 10 p.m. Eastern, which would be 7 p.m. for those of you on the left coast, like Lee Forrester and people that are that follow you, your posse, as I'm going to say. But you can also email him at signerheaven@yahoo.com. He's just a man who's in the trenches. He's a man who knows about this growth mindset. He doesn't just talk the talk, he walks the walk. And I know you've done that with your 13 core principles, Dwight. I want to spend the time that we do have left and just these 13 core principles. Just, we got to leave a little bit. So they got to contact you. If you want to work with Dwight, you will know about growth mindset. But just a couple of the principles of these 13 core principles that you do have. Please share.
Yeah, I'll take a couple of them and break them down. The first one that's going to be most important, I think, is going to be according to what word resonates with you. Everybody's different. Everybody's on their own journey, but basically it deals with self-image, self-concept, concept of self or identity. And I primarily use self-image. So why is self-image important? Self-image is important because there's a way that you see you, and then there's a way that others see you.
Mm-hmm.
The most important one is how you see yourself. Why is this important? Because that orchestrates, it mandates, and it controls everything. So how you see yourself is vitally, critically, ultimately important. And you can never outperform it. Let's just take Michael Jordan, the greatest basketball player to ever play the game. There's a certain way he sees himself. It doesn't matter. Yes, he's a father. He's a business person. He's a husband. He's a former professional basketball player. So there was a certain way that he saw himself. There was a certain mood that when he got between those lines that he had, there was a certain attitude, focus, energy, concentration, and attention that he had when he was between those four lines. And so it is with you. When you wake up, when you go to sleep, as you carry throughout your normal day, there's a certain way that you're seeing yourself. There's a certain way that your physiology is carrying you. And you are determining this unknowingly or knowingly or unconsciously or consciously. So you have to figure out what that is so that you can make the necessary adjustments to be inspired to be whoever you were meant to be. Hopefully that makes sense. So the way you see yourself is priceless, and it makes all the difference in the world.
The me I see is the me I'll be.
Mm-hmm.
And you just humbly said these 13 principles allowed you to go from obscurity to notoriety, from being nothing to something, and from these humble beginnings that you've heard. And yes, Dwight, you're in national prominence. And I tell you, viewing audience, we've got a surprise for you, because Dwight has a free gift. And if you see that email, you must email Dwight at and it's SOUNERHAVEN at yahoo.com. Email me. And what are you going to give all of our viewers? This is just so amazing.
Yes, please note that you were on the Health Milkshake, and I'll send you an email copy of the 13 principles that I basically have used throughout my life to obtain high levels, mid levels, and high levels of success. And these principles are operating in my life still today, and they will help you make the necessary adjustments to change your results. I mean, if you're getting the results that you want, they can be enhanced. If you're not getting the results that you currently desire, you can begin through applying these principles, create those results or manifest those results that you desire.
And you know, Dwight, 13 is my lucky number. And frankly, I believe there's something about having that number that cannot be divided, cannot be multiplied. It stands by itself. And you just epitomize. Now I say, well, make it a baker's dozen. Let's just up from the dozen. Let's up it one more. Or I'm coming back, and Jay Nolan, I know you're going to be watching this absolute milkshake moments. As you all say, one more again. This is one more again. We're doing it one more again. You're having 12. You have it 13. Absolutely. I'd love to hear one last piece of wisdom, because there is so much depth. You absolutely are an ocean. You can get on your clubhouse room tonight and said, I've been given a new middle name. Okay. Dwight, give us your last piece of wisdom, please. Pour into us for our last few minutes.
Okay, yeah. So I'm told by good authority that 13 is actually an angelic number, and I know 12 is the number of government. So 13 is a powerful number. Something else that you notice on the front of my book is eagle. See, an eagle, like I love and I resonate with the eagle. The eagle has vision, not sight. It can see a quarter in the opposite end zone. That's the vision of an eagle. And so you have to have a vision, okay? You have to have a mission, and you have to have a purpose. And, you know, I briefly discussed these in the book, and it's just important because, you know, the scriptures say that, you know, they perish for lack of vision, basically.
Yes.
Yes. So you got to have your energy, focus, concentration, and attention on something that utilizes your gift or the present called you to serve others, because it is about servant leadership. It's not about you. And I encourage everybody, because it's not all peaches and rainbows, you know, hunky dory. When you go after your dream, you know, people are going to come against you. You know, it comes to territory. It's part of the process. But this is what I know from experience. See, I don't get up here and talk about theory. I get up here and I teach theory, and I provide the proof. I'm telling you what I live. If you play small, you're going to suffer. You know, I have absolutely nothing against work. You know, it's admirable. It's worthy and everything. But, you know, you have two options. You can work a 9-to-5 all your life, or you can do your life's work. The choice is yours. Both have negative and positive consequences.
Stop. Did you get that? You can either work or you can do your life's work. Keep going. That was good. Yeah. That was another one, Dwight.
Yeah. And so, you know, both categories have rewards. And, you know, I can narrow it down to this. You know, there's really one original vibration, and that's love. But you could say that there's two vibrations. There's love, and then there's fear, you know, just like working your 9-to-5, just like doing your life's work. And, you know, everything essentially becomes two conversations. It's the absence of something, and it's the presence of something. You know, what would you choose? You know, it's like holding a quarter. At all times, you have heads and tails. Which one are you focused on? At all times, you have poverty and you have prosperity. Which one are you focused on? At all times, you have harmony and inharmony. Which one are you focused on? So, you know, your perception is critically important. You know, After consciousness and awareness, your life comes down to the self-image. It comes down to what you choose to believe. It comes down to your mindset, your thought impulses, your thinking patterns, and your thought processes. Um, and then the story that you're telling yourself, whether you know it or not, there's a conversation going on within you at all times, 24/7, 365. You can't get away from it. This is a fact. You don't have to agree with it. You don't have to understand it. You don't have to comprehend it. You don't even have to believe it. It's true. And this is the way I could say it. See, a false belief dissolves when you take your observation off of it. But a true belief stands, like the law of correspondence, as above, so below, as within, so without. Like that stands. It stands for Dr. Joe. It stands for Dwight Lee. It stands for Jay Nolan. It stands for Michael Jordan, Oprah Winfrey, Susie Orman, whoever.
Every
And it's just important to understand these things because in order to advance, there are certain things that you have to learn. And what I'll tell you is this: you're going to pay one or two ways. You're either going to pay for mentorship, coaching, and consulting, or you're going to pay for not knowing. And the difference between where you are and where you desire to go is information implemented. I'll say that again. The difference between where you are and where you desire to be, your heart's desire, is information implemented. The difference between
it's the I, better than AI. You are the information implemented. Dwight, I've got to say, that's why I branded foundational health. You got to have a rock solid foundation on the rock. So finish up with a couple of gems. And I'm telling you, there are gems. But before you do, I want to say, reach out to Dwight. He's the real deal. Reach out to him because he's lived it. He does it. He walks with his clients, and he is truly a self-mastery. So give us one of your final quotes as we finish up here.
Yeah, I'll just share this briefly too. Like I'm telling you, the month of July was amazing. I have so many email, audio, and then last week I recorded like over 30 video testimonials where people are breaking out with. People are getting houses, cars, financial breakthroughs. And I just want to hit you with this because I think you got to let it marinate. I had a client that had over $200,000 in student loans forgiven. And she said it was because of me, but I say, no, all I did was mess with your belief system and your mindset and draw out of you what was already in you. So these things can happen when you get your mindset right and you just upgrade your belief system from the 7-year-old belief system. Because just as you couldn't go back and wear the same clothes when you were 4 years old, 5 years old, 6 years old, and 7 years old, you can't operate off the same beliefs that you had when you were 4 years old, 5 years old, 6 years old, 7 years old, because they no longer serve you. You've advanced. So you got to upgrade your belief system and upgrade your mindset so that you can be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. So I love quotes. So I'm going to leave y'all with several quotes. I really, really love quotes. I have a million of them in my head, and I'm not exaggerating. I'll just do a part of Rudyard Kipling's if you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you, if you can trust yourself when all men doubt you, but make allowance for their doubting too. Rudyard Kipling's If. That's a portion of that. Henry Ford, who they said couldn't read, right? He said this quote: whether you think you can or you think you can't, either way, you're right. So that means that if you think and believe you can do a thing, guess what? You can. But also it's true of the law of polarity. If you think and believe you can't do a thing, that's also true. James Allen said it this way: man is mind and mind is man, and evermore he takes the tool of thought, shaping forth what he wills, brings forth 1,000 joys or 1,000 ills. He thinks in secret and it comes to pass. Environment is but his looking glass. James Allen. Dr. Ken McFarland, former Kentucky superintendent for several years, said 2% of people actually think. 3% of people think that they think, mean they got mental activity going on inside their head. In other words, idle chatter. But listen to the last part of this quote. 95% of people would rather die than think. You know, it talks about this in Proverbs that if you be slack, you'll spend your days in poverty. That's just pure laziness. Think, get your thinking off autopilot. Direct your thoughts. Be deliberate and intentional with your thoughts, and you can create whatever it is that your heart desires to create.
Beautiful, Dwight. So many gems, so much passion, so much insight, so much thinking stuff, as Wallace D. Waddle says, that all things were made. This is truly, you have made us better today. We were better than when we started at the top of the hour. Thank you so much for putting the frosting, the whipped cream, and the cherry on top of our Life's Milkshake moment today. Thank you, Dwight.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been truly an honor and a privilege to just even be on here.
Okay, thank you so much. And I have a surprise for you viewers. I told you that we've got Ignite being our sponsor, Ignite being our corporate sponsor, but this is what we have now. Check out this video. Yes, Ignite Your Foundations of Health has now been accepted for author applications. I am so honored, delighted, and just humbled to say that I said yes to JB Owen a year and a half ago, almost 2 years ago, to be in Ignite Your Foundations of Health with Les Brown. Then I said yes to being project leader in Ignite Wisdom. And now I said yes to spearhead the marquee project, Ignite Your Foundations of Health. I will be talking about this throughout this week and next, and be checking my social media. It will be everywhere. It is a multifaceted project book. We're taking over 35 authors. Some are famous healers and professionals. Some are people who are just like regular practitioners, such as myself, or you can be one of these influencers that had a change, just like Dwight did around his mindset as his grandmother and his mother poured into him, his early teachers, as he went from encyclopedia to being his own Wikipedia, in quotes. That is Ignite Your Foundations of Health. It is a book that we'll be working with, as only Ignite can do, in a 4.5-month project, to create your story, to market and monetize your story with your 50 books that are in the price. Then we're going to take it on the road after we've written the professional, famous healers and practitioners such as myself. We will be penning a foundational healthopedia. This has been a dream of mine. It's been on my vision board since 1985, that I would be part of penning something that's the Eastern version of the Western medical physician's desk reference, because we need it all. We need to be holistic in our health, mind, body, and spirit. Then, as I said, gave it away just a minute ago, we're going to be taking it on the road into a 5-city tour. And Dwight, we're coming to you. We'll be in Dallas as one of our stops. And we will be bringing not only these authors speaking on health. Don't we need this more now than ever? But then it'll be a virtual summit throughout 2023. So if this speaks to you, if you say, oh gosh, Jody, you can just reach out on that banner right there, foundationsofhealth.igniteyou.life, or you can just reach out to me through my website, which is drjody.com, drjody.com, or my handle @healthcoachjody. at Health Coach Jody, and I will give you all the information. We'll be doing an informational Zoom Tuesday at 8 p.m. But what I can say is that as this project, as with my project with Ignite Wisdom, if you want to see what kind of projects does Ignite have, well, I can tell you, you can get your limited edition signed copy from me. You can go to this ClickFunnels, or you can go to my website, drjody.com, and all proceeds of my books go to my foundation, my charity that I just love and adore, along with many other people. And it is La Casa Ropa de Sobre, where we've taken orphans that have no adults. We've taken the elderly, such as myself, that maybe want to pour into the next generation of children. We put them under one roof. So proceeds go there. Proceeds of our new book, Ignite Your Foundations of Health, will be going to La Casa Ropa de Sobre, and also to build a classroom of hope in Indonesia. You'll be hearing more about this as we go along, but just remember to always, always come and join us on Thursdays. I'm so delighted. I didn't even really realize it until Dwight was here with us, that I said, my goodness gracious, thanks to Dwight, it's always a friend of a friend. Our next guest on Life's Milkshake Moments next Thursday will be health coach Lee Forrester. Dwight referred her to me, and we have become kindred souls. So as you've seen over and again here, you can find us always at drjody.com. That's my website, drjody.com. My handle is at Health Coach Jody. On Twitter, it's at Coach Jody. On all social media platforms, LinkedIn, Twitter, I'm at Clubhouse as Dr. Jody. Or if you just want to go old school, 800-820-0854. That's 800-820-0854. You can hear me every Sunday night with Peter Mingles on Building Fortunes Radio at Sunday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern, buildingfortunesradio.com/live. Each and every Sunday, we've been doing that radio show for 9 years. Mondays at noon, I can say it's Mindset Monday right here on Traverse TV, Facebook, and every other social media platform. Monday will be a Labor Day, but it's not in the UK. So I brought to you RTT clinical psychologist, Rosalind Palmer, award-winning, best-selling author, and she has, I'm just giving a little hint, her mindset is dealing with the little itty-bitty shitty committee, but I can't say it like she does as her British lovely accent. You're going to be absolutely enthralled with Rosalind Palmer, noon Eastern, and then we'll be back, as I said, with Lee Forrester, 7 p.m. Northern American time. I guess I was thinking about that. 6 p.m. Eastern time. And also Lee's time, 3 p.m. Pacific time. We'll be here on Life's Milkshake Moment. Always, always. But one more time, I want to thank Dwight Lee. I want to thank him for his passion, his professionalism, his pouring in. He was really the triple P today, and his zone of brilliance, embodying this quote about brilliance. It's one of my favorites. Your brilliance lies within your mindset and at the edge of your comfort zone, because health is not something you do. It is what you become along life's journey. So all remember to become what you want to create, as you heard today, in your mind. Thoughts are things, words have meaning. Then life will be like a milkshake. You've chosen your ingredients wisely. And when you do, especially in this mental mindset sense, your life will be oh so sweet. So until next Thursday with Lee Forrester, this is Dr. J saying, have a healthy day.